Anybody see us? Anybody see us? God, my hair is not hairing today. Let's see. Oh, what happened to my? There we go. Show. Oh, what's happening here? Oh, there we go. Hello. Thank you for commenting, Zoe. It's like, hello, world. We'll get started. Sorry for the disruption, everybody. It's probably like, oh, they're not doing a show this week. Yeah, well, we didn't want to do one for Labor Day.
We're doing a show. We got shows to do.
Then yesterday we had a power outage. I mean, it came on during DTNS, but then like by then I'd already like moved on. I was like, oh, we're not doing the show.
Yeah. No. I actually, because I had said to you and also to Tom, like, let's just like don't bend over backwards for this. Right. Just get through the day. And then it was like power's on, and I'm like, I bet I. It's just sort of like, nah, we already called this one.
I did. I was totally like that. I was literally laying on the couch. I was like, I hope, I was just thinking about, do we have to get the generator to our fridge? Are we going to lose? Right. I was literally thinking about all kinds of things.
So Tom, like for anybody who's, catching up, Tom and Eileen's power went out yesterday, and he had a generator that worked for DTNS, and he was like, yeah, I don't know though. Like we only have 13 hours. And I was like, 13 hours is a lot. We can do Apple Vision Show. And he was like, no, it's 13 hours for the house. For the fridge, for things. I was like, oh, okay, I got it. Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to use that battery at all. We have to anyway, it all worked out. We were fine. But my mental state was done. I was like, I'm so done for this day.
No, I get it.
But anyway, I get it. We are here now. Yay. And we have some stuff to talk about before Monday. Monday's going to be the big day.
Monday's the big day. Monday is the big day. And yeah, I'm pumped. New Mac Mini. I'll save it. I'll save it for the show.
Okay. Save it for the show, Sarah. Save it. All right. Are you ready? Should we just do this?
I'm ready. Let's do it. Right. Let's go rogue.
Do I sound okay to you? Do I sound okay to everybody out there?
You sound sort of, I don't know, artifacty to me. So just make sure you're using the mic that you want to be using.
Yes. Why is it not show? Oh, wait, this is my speakers. Mic. There we go.
How about now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, now we're cooking. Yeah.
What? Yeah. Well, now you can hear me. Right? Okay. Now you can hear me well. Okay, great.
I can hear you, and you can hear me.
Oh, yeah. Now I can.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, Zoe's listening and says it sounds much better. I don't know what we were using before. You kind of sounded underwater. Maybe it was like, do the Pro Maxes have mics? Probably, right?
It's weird.
Now I can't hear you.
Okay, hang on. Can you hear me now?
Yes, but you did cut out for a second.
Because I was playing with the actual settings on my computer, and now first I was playing with the settings in StreamYard, and now I was playing with my settings on the computer. But do I still sound all okay?
You sound good now. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay! All right, here we go.
There's a little ducking though. Yeah. What if you just bounce out and bounce back in? Is that possible?
Okay. That is possible, but
I mean, now you sound fine.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to touch anything now. I think this is it.
I think this is it. Yeah.
All right.
We're doing
it. Okay. I'm going to play this open after you count me down, and then let's just do it. Let's do this.
Let's do it. All right. In 3, 2. Welcome to Apple Vision Show, episode 31, All Things Apple, where Eileen Rivera and I, Sarah Lane, talk about all things Apple. Hi, Eileen.
Hi, Sarah. How are you this week?
I'm doing okay. We have a show. For anybody who has been eagerly anticipating the show, a couple days late. Life gets in the way sometimes. Yes. Eileen, I'm glad that your power is back up. Did you guys ever figure out what happened?
No. Well, the neighborhood went out, but we found that out, and then I don't know, maybe 20 minutes later, got a text message. Oh, we understand. The power's out in your area. Oh, really? Like, it's been 20 minutes. I actually never got the notification. Tom got the notification. He's like, "Did you get the notification?" I'm like, "No." I mean, I'm living it. Do I need the notification? I just need to know that they're going to fix it. But yeah, we've been, once again, I feel like every couple weeks on this show, we've like, oh, LA is going through a heat wave. Like, it's kind of yet another major one. And so I was a little worried about having the power go out again.
Oh, it's a major one. Well, when your power went out, even though I'm not your immediate neighbor, but I'm a neighbor in the Grand Basin of ours. I was like, oh gosh, any second now. But I've been okay. So good. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, I think I'm like, I don't go anywhere. Minimize usage of electrical devices if possible. But those of you out there who have been through power outages, like it's not pleasant. Thankfully
and many of you in various parts of the world at various times of the year understand heat. I have, and this is not the going to be the crux of our show conversation, Eileen, but I have found that just not even dealing with AC and just running the fans, I'm happier.
Okay.
Because you can just take all that hot air, like if you point it out, a window,
and push
you
it.
Actually are in better shape. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's doable without all of the excess electricity use during this time. Is what you're saying.
Central air with AC is better. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
But listen, if you're like me, and you're just, needing to, just make it not unbearable in your house. I'm telling you, some Vornado fans, that'll do the trick.
I actually you'd see this lamp if you're watching the video. I normally have it on, and I'd turn my camera so you can't see it. I was like, no, it needs to be dark in here right now. I want it to feel cool and dark.
Yeah, right. Yes.
No extra.
We're feeling it.
We're
also feeling the impending Apple announcement on Monday, September 9th. Yeah. So this is kind of a, you would call it sort of a bye week of sorts, for Apple stuff, because the company isn't going to announce much stuff. But one thing that I did, personally think was very interesting was came from Mark Gurman, our buddy Mark Gurman, who wrote in his Power On newsletter for Bloomberg on Monday that the Mac Mini is a thing. The Mac Mini is 100% a thing and is going to be different. Now, it had been rumored previously that it would be smaller, hockey puck, more looking like an Apple TV type thing. I've got a Mac Mini that I use, for the show. I have been complaining about it, as of late. So I'm like, okay, cool, smaller, power, still, in the interior. Sounds great to me. Can't wait. I looked online, because I always try to get the temperature of other people who might also buy this product and what they're excited about and what they're not, and there are a bunch of folks who are like, you are kidding me. No USB A ports. Now that is again what Bloomberg Gurman is saying is that the Mac Mini Pro and Mac Mini non-Pro, I'm not totally sure, but let's say up to 5 USB-C ports, but no USB-A ports. And I was like, do I care? Like,
do you care anymore?
Pretty up in arms about this. Well, okay, so I went around the back to my own Mac Mini and I was like, what do we got back here? We got three USB-Cs, Thunderbolt, and then we have 2 USB-As. So basically I would have to get converters for the webcam I'm using right now and for the Shure X22 preamp that I'm using for my microphone.
Okay.
Both are possible, but I was like, okay, I guess that's slightly annoying. But also, a bunch of people were like, I mean, what kind of keyboard are you using? Like, I mean, all keyboards are USB-A, and I was like, well, because I'm using the Magic Keyboard, so it's Bluetooth. So I hadn't really thought about how. And I know that the USB conversation of A versus C versus whatever has been going on for a really long time. Yeah, but I was like, I'm mildly inconvenienced. But I still I'm buying this thing. I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Well, so, because I don't know.
The ROI you're going to get out of it is, yours is almost dying, right? It's like putter, right? Your Mac Mini. So
sorry,
I mean,
Mac Mini, but yes, you're kind of a bad swimmer at this point.
It's injured, and it doesn't look like it's going to be able to compete in the Olympics anymore. So it really needs to, retire. But what you're going to gain out of it is so much more, power and usage, probably faster, that a minor inconvenience of having to get either new cables or, converters, I don't think is going to make a big difference, because those converters, what you're going to get out of it is going to be so much more. So that's what I believe, but I know people can't necessarily afford to upgrade and things like that. So, I can understand that.
Yeah. I empathize with anybody who's like, look at all these peripherals that I have to plug into something. Like, come on, you're going to take all the legacy USB stuff that I've been using. I get it. At the same time, this is sort of the future. Apple doesn't really care about legacy stuff all that much. Let's be honest. So we're moving ahead. I will support this idea. Oh, and what's kind of cool about the rumored new Mac Mini is, M4 Mac Mini. So I mean, this is a fast and lean machine. But of the 5 USB-C ports, apparently 3 will be on the back and 2 on the front. Now, Eileen, call me crazy, but I'm like, on the front. Yeah. I mean, because everything goes through the back, because I like the sleekness of it.
Yeah. I would, I agree with you on that. And I have a Thunderbolt, converter system, and I do have a few things that I plug in on the front, like charging if I need a quick charge. I even, because I have an external hard drive, sometimes I don't really want to mess with unplugging and I don't want to have it plugged in all the time. And so I use the front port to just kind of easily plug in and plug out and have it dangling.
Totally.
But that's about it. That's mostly what I use it for. There just happens to be 2 ports. I'm using one right now for my camera, because it's like I don't have the camera that I'm using always hooked up to my machine. And so that one's just an easy in and out. But for the most part, all the other cables are on the back. I want to keep it clean. I've been trying to get into
keep it clean.
Oh,
keep it clean.
I've been trying, I'm even all the wires on the bottom of my desk here because I have multiple monitors, multiple, accessories and things like that. And so I bought one. I can't really show you right now, but I bought one of those like you put all of your devices in there, and then all of your wires are kind of hidden in the back, and so it's just tucked away. And nice.
It's like a
nice
like
box.
It's almost like a plant thing.
Yeah.
Like out a windowsill where you're just put everything in there, and then
and
you guys can't see my situation as well, and shout out to Shannon Morse, because the last time that she hung out with me in person, it was at my former residence, and I had this whole thing going on in the garage, and she was like, do you need me to help you with cable management? In the nicest way possible. And I was like, I know. So it's kind of the same thing in here with me, where I'm like, on the desk itself, there's nothing. We are good. But like down on the side, it's
a little scary.
It's a little scary. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about it more because, I haven't allowed Seven, our puppy, into my office because it's still kind of it's not puppy proof.
He's never been in there?
He has. He sniffs around. I'm like, let's go real quick. But he doesn't hang out in here. Yeah. So I'm working on puppy proofing. And like, I mentioned that I have like the everything plugged in the boxes, but you still have all the dangling cords. And so I got this thing here to cable manage, to kind of clump all the cables together, but it has one long strip now.
Does it just
looks like this?
Is it like adhesive where you just put it up against a wall?
It's not foil, but it'll dangle. But instead of seeing like 7 cables, it's all wrapped together. It's called it's another cable management thing called split sleeving. I haven't used it. You see, look, it's new, but I have to get behind my desk and do all of that. So anyway, I'm working on the cable management. Since we're
That'll
talking
be
about
fun
that right now.
Yeah,
and it's just, I have so many things. And so I hate looking at them, and I'm getting inspired by, I go on YouTube and I'm like, cable management. I'm like, oh, look at that. Look at these people. They're so good at hiding their cords. So I'm getting into
well, there are times where I will go to somebody's house and, they're like, I don't know, giving me a tour of the house or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, this is your office? Like full time? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, it's so clean and neat. What do I get? What do I do?
How do I emulate? Oh my God. How did you think of it?
Like sometimes I'm like, you need cables and cords.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about this right now, I need, so we got 5 cords coming out the back of the Mac Mini. Mm-hmm. We've got the my mic, which is mounted on a windowsill, but that needs its own XLR, and couple Ethernets. This would be hard to it would be hard to just be like, oh, you don't see any of these. Like, they kind of have to exist.
Yeah.
I could make them look better though.
Yeah, there's ways to artfully hide them or make it look less cluttered because you're grouping them all into one instead of here's 5 different dangling cords, Yeah. Plus, then you don't even have to dust all of that. You know how dust accumulates. At that part, I'm like, oh, I have allergies. I don't even want to clean them, but I should. Anyway, I'm really into it. I'm not very good at it. I'm into learning about how to be good at cable management and all of that.
New DIY TikTok thing for you, Eileen.
Yes,
cable
I know.
Management.
Just like, efficiency, like management of things. That's going to be my new. Maybe that's a new series I should work on. Management of things. Like, why do I have
management of things? Well,
why do I have? I don't need all these things, but I have them.
Honestly, I know this is an Apple show, So everybody, thanks for, just letting us vent for a couple of minutes. But yes, every single time I move, and I'm a renter, so I move a lot. Yeah. Every time I move, I get rid of boxes, large bags of things. I mean, so many things where I'm like, I'm naked now. There's nothing left. And then I just seem to fill up the closet.
You fill it back up. I know. Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does that happen?
What is this? Do I want these things? I mean, I feel like at this point, I'm like, I guess I do. I guess I really want these things. But going back to Apple's event, so September 9th, 10 p.m. Pacific time, Monday. So our next episode will be immediately following that. But this was kind of a fun thing that the Apple Club on Apple's Clubs, the X account shared, which was a kind of a look back onto a variety of the Apple announcements, because they're always very visual and they're always kind of cheeky with, how they, try to describe what they're about to do type thing. Our latest one is It's Glow Time. Now, the iPhone 16 series was not part of what it said on that visual email, I guess, that went out to a bunch of people who are going to cover the show. This is just part of, what went into the comparison. But so Eileen, if I were to ask you, okay, well, it's Glow Time on Monday. What was the last one called? Do you remember these things?
No, I don't remember at all. Like these are kind of not memorable. I feel like Glow Time is actually memorable. So I don't know, did they get a new marketing team or a new creative team? But
maybe so. But so September 12th, 2023. So, let's call it a year ago. It was called Wonderlust. And everyone was sort of like, Wonderlust. And I still don't really know what that meant.
Honestly, I don't either.
When you look, at the physical invitation, it looks like titanium type stuff, but it's like, was that really like the going thing of, what we were doing last year? When you look at September 7th, 2022, so a couple years ago now, it was Far Out, the iPhone 14 series, which I skipped. I never had an iPhone 14.
Okay.
But it's like Far Out, okay. All right. I mean, far outer than everybody else. Where are we? Are we in space?
Yeah. What's going on?
Going back to 2021 on September 14th, which was Apple's event at that time, California Streaming.
Like, that's local.
It's so local. But this one I do get because Apple, historically names a variety of, everything Mac OS is all, areas of California Streaming. But it was also the iPhone 13 also was a big bump in the camera at the time. I know this seems like a long time ago now, but
I know.
It was. In 2020, Eileen, which was, I guess, the first time that Apple did a not in-person event, right? Because of COVID. Yeah. It was called High Speed. Not High Speed, High Speed. Hello, Speed. Hello, Speed.
Hello.
I am waving
nice to
hi
meet you.
at you. Yeah,
nice to meet you,
exactly.
Speed. So it wasn't fast before. That's kind of what it kind of notes. It feels like high speed, nice to see you finally, or nice to meet you, which means and implies that there was not speed before,
Right. Yes. And that's always I laugh every time Apple makes an announcement about, the latest and the greatest. And this goes for all companies, but specifically Apple, just because, here we are. But, they're like, this is the fastest iPhone we've ever made. And it's like, what else are you going to say?
No, what else? I mean,
this is comparable to last year's iPhone. Yay. Like, no, of course not. You're always going to say that it's the best one. Yeah. Hello, Speed. I mean, if you go back, this is actually kind of interesting. In 2019, the iPhone 11 series was the new one. It was by Innovation Only. Don't really remember what that was, but if you look at the visual, it's an Apple icon with a lot of colors. So maybe they introduced new colors,
more colors. I think I had the purple for that one. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Back in 2018, Gather Round with just a circle, meaning that they were probably going to announce something from Apple Park for the first time.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That one makes sense.
Yeah. And then, nobody went there because, the world was shut down for a few years. But anyway, no, these are fun. If you're not an Apple, enthusiast, you're like, so stupid. But all companies do this. For our purposes, I like trying to read the tea leaves.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Glow Time, I'm much closer to that in memory right now. I mean, I've owned all of these phones. I really have. I've always upgraded, and like get the, I'd like to upgrade and, get, you save a little bit money by upgrading. But I've owned all these phones, but I have to admit that I don't remember all of these themes and the invitations, except for this one now, which to me makes that glowiness is Siri. Or oh no, I'm sorry, SIRI. I'm so sorry to say that, and you guys are listening and your devices go off.
Could you?
I know, I do it all the time. Mine didn't right now. Oh, maybe it's the beta I'm using. Anyway,
I'll tell you something. I'm total non sequitur, but I have. So when you like watch a movie late at night on the couch and you might nod off.
I did
that
wake
yesterday. Up a little later and you're like, oh my goodness, what time is it? Oh, I have to go to bed. Yeah. So I do that somewhat often. But I also have everything. I don't use HomeKit for my smart home stuff.
Right.
I use Amazon's stuff. And it's always worked for me. I've moved around a few times with a variety of smart lights and, that kind of stuff. And it's always been, you kind of have to set it back up again and all that stuff. But something is going on with my Amazon stuff. For example, so last night I may have nodded off a little bit watching a movie. When I woke up and I'm like, why are all the lights on? It's after 11 p.m. They're all supposed to, supposed to
turn off.
Turn off. Yeah. At that point, like, whether I'm awake or not. So I went to bed and then this morning at around 5 a.m., my light comes on my nightstand. And I was like, whoa, what time is it? Like, am I late? Like I was like discombobulated. No, it was weird. And then just before we started this show, I, went to, do whatever. And all my lights were on in the whole house.
Okay. So it's just, is the timers off? Like,
I don't think so. I mean, I'm pretty meticulous about this stuff.
Is it
I have
trying
thought.
To do Southern Hemisphere instead of Northern Hemisphere times?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
I have thought, and if anybody has ever done this before, let me know, because maybe it's an exercise in futility. But moving from Amazon's platform to HomeKit, Apple's HomeKit, with the exception of the Echo Show that I have in my kitchen, all of my smart bulbs could go to HomeKit. Okay. And I'm kind of like, something's weird with Amazon right now. Things are not working out. It's not like the power is going, like it's not anything like that. It's that this stuff is just not firing. And, I've thought about starting it from scratch on another platform in the past. So, yeah.
Oh, maybe this is the moment to do that.
Might be. I mean, we'll get through the next couple days of extreme high temperatures in Los Angeles. But yeah, no, I've thought just to know, it would be a good exercise. So
okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, keep us updated. If you move to HomeKit or anything else, that'll be could be a game changer.
Will do. Eileen, should we take a little break?
Let us do it. And here we go.
Oh, Eileen, you are a trooper.
I'm so refreshed.
Me too. Oh my gosh, what a wonderful nap that was. Oh,
thank God. Thank God.
Put on a movie, take a nap. Hopefully your lights aren't on when you wake up. Good grief. Okay, so let's talk about some iOS 18.1 new things.
Yeah.
So the whole iPhone photos cleanup thing seems to be following Android, because that's what Android people have been saying for decades now. It's like, oh yeah, we can do that. You can take a tree out or take a person out or whatever.
Exactly. It's actually really nice to just have it on your Photos app, right? On iPhotos, when you go in there, I actually did a demonstration on our socials. You go in there and you click kind of like the 3 button like settings down on Photos when you have a photo open. And then on the very right-hand side, it says cleanup. And once you click that, it'll do a few things. It'll take a moment to get all of its cleanup devices ready to go, and then you could just literally like press on a item on your photo and it'll go away. And everything that I've done has gone away pretty seamlessly. I did take a photo of a friend of mine, and we were at a concert and outside of the Forum in Los Angeles, and there was like, I don't know, 10 people behind us. So I was like, ooh, this is a good chance for me to just clean this up. So I deleted. And once I got towards the last person, it started getting a little wonky, and I had to just kind of brush it and like take my because basically the Forum is like a red, right? Or brick red wall on the outside, and it was still white remnants of the person's foot or whatever. And so I was just taking my finger and just like, swiping. And finally it matched the rest of the building. And I'm like, great, that person got erased. But it didn't take long. And it's just really nice to have it on the app, because in the past I'd be like, oh, let me put it in Lighthouse. Where am I? I don't know, the numerous photo apps that I had, and they weren't that perfect either. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. I saw some people kind of complaining about it online, but I'm like, I don't know. It does what it does. It does what I need for it. And I was, able to really get people out of the way, that was great. Like, it looks like nobody's there, but there was a ton of people at the show. It just,
right. And for anybody being like, well, are you, changing reality, it's like, this is I feel like this sort of feature it's really like, I was at the beach, I was on vacation,
those people
there's a guy behind me, holding a trash can, like, just like, I'm not like ugly, trying to pretend like I was somewhere I wasn't. It's just good. Good tools.
How, like, say you're at the beach and everybody's wearing their bathing suits. And maybe your photos look great, but there happens to be someone bending over and it's kind of just not flattering to that person. And that person would probably appreciate you erasing them from your photo because you're like, wait, but this is the best look of me. But that guy was there bending. Oh, I can't use that one. You can now. You can use it. You can erase the guy bending over, looking awful. And I'm telling you, that person does not want to be in your photo anyway. And then you're on your merry way and you have your very best smile at the beach. I liked it. I like this feature. I've been waiting for it. When I heard that it was coming, I'm like, oh God, finally. And better late than never. That's all I care. Now I don't have to find, I can just delete some of those third-party apps. Sorry, third-party app developers, but it really is better on the native apps.
You know who's not sorry? Apple.
That's right.
Apple is not sorry. Apple's like, let's just build this in. So speaking of how the camera and Photos app on iOS are great and getting better every day. So the other day, we had long Labor Day weekend in the US. So and it's hot, so I'm kind of hanging out. With the dog and the cat, just taking photos of them because what else am I gonna do with my life?
Yeah.
And I looked at this photo and I was like, I don't really look at, some of the stuff that I can do, with this photo. It's, it's sort of like, do you want to, like enhance it or, go a little bit deeper, blah, blah, blah. And there was a button and I was like, what's that button? It kind of looks like a dog button. Let me click that.
The dog button. Yeah.
So I click it and it's like, would you like to know more about American bulldogs? Now, Otis the dog, my dog, is not an American bulldog. However, that is the most common breed that he is mistaken for.
Okay.
So Apple was like, that's what it is. Do you want to know more about it? And I was like, first of all, you're dumb, Apple, but like, okay. So I click it and it just sent me to like basically a Safari if I had searched for American bulldogs, but I was like, that's okay. I get what we're doing here because you think that I took a picture of something that I want to identify. So you're wrong, but you're not super wrong. Yeah. But if I were to take a photo of a tree, some sort of tree, like blooming tree kind of thing. Yeah. And Apple would have been like, hey, do you want to know more about this tree? I'd be like, yes.
Yes,
because
please.
I use third-party apps for things like this.
Yeah.
Or a type of animal, I suppose, or a car or whatever. I was like, this is kind of cool. Like, you weren't quite right in my situation, but like, you're not like super wrong. Everyone gets this wrong. Everyone thinks my dog is an American bulldog. So like I'm like, all right, I like this. I like the metadata.
Can I tell you this story? I did that with Seven early on, and I wish I could find the photo, which one it was. And so when I hit the dog button or info button or whatever button, it said he was a horse. You have a horse? Or let me tell you this one. It gave me two options: horse or unicorn. I'm not even joking. And I'm like, I know it was a picture head on of Seven. I'm like, where is the horse? Is it because he's white?
I mean, the unicorn part of it, I'm sort of like, that's irresponsible.
So
like, unless you're joking, like that's not helpful.
But the horse,
if you were like, what kind of animal is in my house right now? It's like unicorn. It's like, come on. That's
also it was like chest up. It wasn't like he was standing and you could even be like horse, right? So I'm like, what was it about his features that made him look like a pony or something like that versus a dog?
Maybe it was like Apple was like, I don't know, a unicorn.
Can't tell. I know it's an animal.
Something very, very special.
It's a mythical beast.
It's a mythical beast.
I had no idea. A mythical unicorn.
No, mine, I don't have my phone handy, but no, mine literally had like a dog icon.
Yeah.
Like when I
Yeah,
clicked
that's
on
what
it, I
mine
was like, what
usually
is
has.
this? Dog icon? I haven't found that for cats yet, but
Oh, it's not for cats? Okay. Yeah,
I
generally,
don't know.
Okay, now this one is saying Carolina dog. So, whatever. Like, okay, Carolina dog. Great. I don't know what that
Yeah.
is, but that's
There,
great. That he looks great.
you've got one.
I'll
Yeah.
take it. I've got a well, that's not what the Embark said he was, but that's fine. Does that do we really know? Do we really know? How
We don't.
accurate are all of those?
We don't. Yeah. I mean, it's a real crapshoot.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Otis? Yeah, Otis. He's just mad. He's like, American Bulldog? I am not an American Bulldog.
Sorry, Otis. Computers are flawed. They don't know,
look like
and
one.
and
Yeah.
they're learning. They're learning what you are. Eventually, it'll figure out what you really are. Sorry for the delay.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. We're doing our best, everybody. All right. So, the Apple film Wolves. Eileen,
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
Have not either. Yeah.
This is a Brad Pitt, George Clooney vehicle that apparently was supposed to be in wide release in movie theaters and got changed to a few limited screenings and more of the Apple TV Plus type stuff. And I a lot of movies do this. But I think that this got a lot of attention specifically because they are two of the biggest, actors in the world. And apparently said, like, we will give back some of our salaries.
Yeah.
Because, the movie isn't going to make that much money. And so, let's pump back some money into the system of all the people that worked on this. But I wonder, how much this might be indicative of people just not going to theaters anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's really what it is. I mean, I think 5 years ago, that would be shocking, right? Like, oh my God, they went from, full theatrical release to limited. This is George Clooney and Brad Pitt. Now it's sort of like, well, we have all these like cost cutting stories from a lot of entertainment companies. And now that Apple's included in that conversation, now they have too, right? They've decided to cut back on a lot of stuff because, they need to pay for season 4 of Ted Lasso. So, and some of the, Brad Pitt and George Clooney, even though they are returning some of their earnings, I mean, they still made a lot. I believe
much money. Much money. In fact, George Clooney talked to, was it Deadline or one of the pubs that was trying to figure out what they made and what they gave back, and they were like, you made like many millions of dollars, like $30 million each, and he was like, no, we made less than that. So it's like, okay, still many millions of dollars each. And listen, I like both actors. I understand that you make a lot of money when, you sign on to a movie that, is expected to then also make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder how much some of these projects that, for actors are, projects that they really care about, maybe they even have, their own, media outlet that is a part of it, and just kind of have to say like, yeah, all right, never mind.
Yeah.
We're gonna just take less money.
And, it did premiere at the Venice Film Festival. And from what I understand, it got one of those like several minute applause at the end. So
yeah,
it sounds like, it was generally received well. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, I personally will probably wait for it to be on Apple TV Plus before watching it. And I just don't. I'm one of those, Sarah. I don't really go to the theaters anymore. It's an inconvenience. It's got to be something huge. And you know what? I didn't even see the Wolverine or the Deadpool, the latest Deadpool. I didn't even go see it in theaters.
Oh, I didn't either.
Like, no. I know that's an event, and I used to watch all of those movies, and not that I don't want to watch it. I wanted to. But one, yeah, I have a new puppy, and we're home a lot more. But two, the thought of even just going and being in the theater and, like, being tempted to buy all the, like, popcorn or whatever I'm smelling, and then walking away, like, $50 down even more than I was before for an hour or 2 hour movie that I could just wait for it to come home.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like, okay, why are we doing this? We're doing this for the fun. We're going to a movie. It's going to be fun. It's going to be good sound system, the whole thing. But I mean, realistically, you're, figuring out how to get there. Maybe you drive, maybe you take an Uber, maybe you, I don't know, whatever you're doing, got to do that, pay for parking. Then you want popcorn and or candy and soda because you're there.
You smell it. You can't not smell it. It's everywhere.
Right.
Like, oh my God.
So then you do that, and then my issue is, because I run late in general as a person, my issue is I'm like, all right, go, like whoever I'm with, I'm like, go in there, make sure our seats are cool, take the popcorn, I have to pee. And they're always like, you're gonna miss it, and I'm like, doesn't even matter.
Emergency.
Do it.
Emergency.
Right. So
it's just, it's like, I feel like there's different events that will get me out of the house, and the movie theater isn't that, because I've learned to adapt. Unfortunately, I've learned to adapt, and I don't, like, everybody is not needing to watch it on the first weekend anymore. Like, it's just, you don't need to. Like, I can stay away from social media enough to not be spoiled. And I'm okay with that. And even if I get spoiled, well, that's on me. I've kind of come to that. My brain has now accepted
what
reality.
Activity you can keep away from in order to not know, how a movie ended. And if you don't do it, then you're like, do I really care that much? Which is a conversation I think, I have a lot where I'm like, do I mean, spoilers. Yeah, no, I don't want spoilers, but like, do I really care?
Yeah.
So yeah, that goes for TV shows and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it took me, just a couple months ago to finally get through all of the Bridgerton series, and I just did that because that was Seven's nap time meant I could watch an episode of Bridgerton. I was like,
I watched the first season and I was like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I
don't know what happens after that.
It was one of those things where I know it. There's 3 seasons, and the last one just came out this year, and everybody been talking about, buzzing about it. There's a lot of, I saw chatter, but I didn't understand what it meant. Now that I watched it, I'm like, okay, I get you.
Yeah,
I get you. Which I did watch on my Apple TV, by the way. So it all ties together.
It all comes back.
All ties
comes
together.
Back around.
But are you going to watch Wolves? Are you? I don't even. Really
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
On
Apple TV.
No, I'm. Listen, Brad Pitt. Sorry, Brad. Brad Pitt, George Clooney. Ocean's 11. And that whole thing aside, I'm like, the two of you. Let's put that together. I will watch that movie.
That probably made something good. So,
they probably did.
They have the money to make something good. Hopefully, and it sounds like people liked it at that film festival, like we said. So I think I'll watch it. Wolves.
Well, Eileen, we are wolves of our own. And we have to hibernate after episode 31. But thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Reminder, feedback at applevisionshow.com is where you can send us feedback, questions, comments, all the things. We would love to hear them. And we'll be back doing it next week.
Next week is a big week because I feel like last week we kind of went through all the rumors already. Like when I was looking at the news for what to talk about this week, I'm like, we already went through all of that. We already talked about the Apple 10 watch, the phone. We talked about the, you know, the crazy colors and all that. We've already covered that for you. Now it's game time. So this week is sort of simmering before Monday's episode, which is going to be like, what do we got? What are we getting? I already know I'm probably going to get the watch. I got to. My poor Series 4, you know, it manages to do what it needs to do, but I gotta level up at this point, Sarah. It's time. It's time. So game time on Monday, right?
Right. And me too with the Mac Mini, even though that's not supposed to be part of the announcement, but you never know.
You never
know.
The
fun of these. That's the fun of these things. So yes. Thanks, y'all. Let us know what you want to see or hear from us. And we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye. Yay!
Yay!
I assume it will all be pre-recorded again. Who, us or we'll be live?
Oh, from Apple.
From Apple. Oh, yeah. I wonder if this one will be pre-recorded. Huh.
I mean, good question.
I guess, yeah. I guess some of the stuff we've seen recently, has been.
If I were Apple, I would say yes.
Yeah, pre-record.
Let's pre-record it. They just do it quite well. You know, where it's like Tim Cook is like, "Ooh, let's," you know,
and
check in out with, you know, Craig Federighi, and he like goes down, you know, to a level where you're like, what are we doing here?
That BART train, you know, flying.
Yes,
like, that's
the
not
BART
live.
train.
None of that's live. It's fun to watch.
No.
I mean, does it really need to be live too? Because a lot of people are not going to watch it live. They're going to wait, and you know, it's at 10 a.m. Eastern or Pacific time. That's the beginning of a workday for most people. You know, in the middle of the workday for the East Coast, so people are just going to wait.
It's also it's such a holdover from like, okay, during, you know, early days of COVID, you know, 2020, March 2020. Yeah, and it was like, okay, how do we reimagine these things as a company that we have to do? And now it's like, oh, we could still have a bunch of, you know, 1,000 people come to an event physically at our campus. That's so much harder for all of the employees that work here, or we could just do it remotely.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel like, and then Zoe's right. She says that, you know, they're having too much fun with the creativity they could do with Apple products to showcase their latest hardware or software. Yeah. Like you could really showcase it without being,
That's
you know,
true.
I was watching I did the I think I mentioned this before, you know, The Verge or whoever did the 10 minutes of the last Google event, right? I did catch 10 minutes of it live, and it was the part where they were doing the demo of Gemini, and he was like, okay, I really hope it works. And the first time it didn't work, and you're just sitting there like wah wah, and then it worked fabulously. You know, he used a different phone and did what he needed to show to everybody, but it was like one of those it's just one of those do I really care to watch this fail on this poor man? I want to know what he's trying to show me. I don't need to see it happen live. Like, just show me the goods, and then I'll figure out how it works on my own if I use it later. You know, I just felt sorry for the man. He was like, okay, this is live TV. Yeah, let's get a different phone. I'm like, it's a waste of time. Just show me what it does. You know what I mean? I guess there's some thrill in that, but it's not a sporting event. You know, it's like, let's demo the product.
No. Yep, right. Right. You're like, this is not the Olympics, people.
No,
let's just, you
give
know,
that poor man a break. Like, he's just
what do you got? Tell me in human terms. Thank you in advance.
Yeah. Like I'm really, yes, it doesn't work sometimes on your phone because it sometimes can't recognize you. We get that. But did I need to see him go through that pain? I felt bad for him. I guess people like to see that stuff, but I'm kind of over it. Like, no, just show us.
Yeah.
This is not that, you know. But anyway. All right, everybody. I don't know what's next on the schedule. So I'm just going to say goodbye. We'll end the stream here, but we're going to be ready on Monday with a lot of good stuff.
We're going to be ready and wearing very fit suits. I was about to say like tuxedos.
Oh,
I was like, my God, Eileen and I are not going to be wearing tuxedos.
I was thinking game like, face, right? So I'm like, do I do the football thing where they do the black underneath? You know,
there you go. There you go. Yeah.
I don't know. Since I'm thinking of sports right now, but yeah, tell us how you guys get dressed up for watching the Apple event, or if you want. All right, bye everybody. I'm gonna end the stream. Bye.
All right, bye.